Good evening, everybody. Marcus C. Williams here. So, I'd like to thank you guys for all of the hard work that many of you have put into the school board elections over the last few weeks and few months, and some of you have been working even longer and harder at that. Um, Here's the deal. I've been hearing from a lot of people a lot of things about these school board elections. I was recently talking to somebody and I saw a post. Somebody said, hey, if the school board is up for election and the teachers union is advocating for somebody, make sure you vote the opposite way. Now that seemed a little wrong to me. I'm like, that doesn't quite sound right. And so the question is why doesn't that sound right? Now, many of you out there know me. I'm a stickler for more traditional things and the way our country is supposed to be. And I'm a constitutionalist, and I believe very firmly in the traditions that our country is based and steeped in, and that education is supposed to be just that education, not any type of other nonsense involved with it, which we have a horrible education system as it is, but that's a whole separate conversation and what I want to talk about tonight. So when I saw that post, it was kind of concerning to me. So the post said, it says, if the teachers union is advocating for one group of people that are running for election, you shouldn't vote for those. You should vote for the opposite. And I was like, Now this was in a group that is full of people that I know and stuff like that. And I said, I think this message is the wrong message to be sending. So people were like, oh, well, no, the teachers unions are powered by the national level and they're all evil and they're all bad and they're all whatever, right? Okay. So let's suss that out and really bring things into perspective. So, number one, if the candidates that we want are not being endorsed by the teachers union, maybe we need to analyze that. Maybe we need to look at that. Who is in the teachers union? Who makes up the teachers union? Do we not have enough like-minded individuals that are teachers? Is that part of the issue? Or are the teachers that we have that are like-minded individuals not part of the union? Is the union comprised of people that are all in power, that all think differently? Because remember, the leadership of the union is not necessarily the general membership of the union. They do not always espouse the same ideas or the same directional preference as the rest of the members. So, do we not have enough people in the positions of authority and decision making in the teachers unions? Is that why our preferred candidates are not getting endorsed? Or is it that we haven't engaged with the teachers union enough consistently or over a period of time to express that we have the better candidates and that they should actually go with them? Because the thing is this, right? What we're experiencing in our country right now is a complete decline, and it's absolutely atrocious. Everything that we see that we've known that makes up America, our tradition, and as we would say, Americana, all of that is being completely dissolved so that it can be reformed into some nasty, horrible blob that we don't even know what it is really, because it keeps metamorphosizing and changing and just shape shifting and all types of nonsense. It's very vaporous. You can't nail it down. So this is a very serious issue. As things continue to change and pick up steam, we see all different types of things going on, and I don't need to list the things that we see that we don't like, but the things that we're seeing that we don't like that are going on. Okay? People are out there, and many of you watching are like, oh, well, that's evil. That's evil. That's evil. Well, let's be clear on what's happened here. This stuff didn't happen overnight. Our whole country hasn't fallen overnight. This is stuff that has happened over 100 years. There has been 100 years of the creeping of evil into our society, into our culture, into our country. And where have we been? Very clearly, at some point, we dropped the ball. So you'll say, oh, well, the communists or the socialists, those are the people that are winning. Are they? The Marxists, those are the ones that are winning. Are they? They're winning. Well, let me get this straight. You're saying the socialists and the communists and the Marxists are the ones who are winning everything and who are controlling everything. But the fact of the matter is, our nation is a republic. It was founded on the principles of a representative or constitutional republic. And we have already had very fierce and very strong American values since our founding and our inception. So the question is, if that's the case, and it was our country originally, well, where the heck did we slip up and let these Marxists and socialists creep into our society? This is very, 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 very important to talk about as far as an issue goes, because it didn't happen overnight. This happened over 100 years. 100 years it took them to take over our country. Okay, so everybody that's all concerned and they're like, oh my gosh, we're not able to win. You know, they say that negative word that I don't say. Oh my gosh, we're not able to win. Oh my gosh, everything's so terrible. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh, woe is me. Everything's horrible. Maybe I should just move. Really? Word? You punking out? Use a chicken? Bok bok? Come on, what's really going on? You explain to me how these people have had 100 years up on us to plan and incept themselves in every single facet of our country's faculties and institutions. And you just assume that there's one race or there's a couple races that you may have not won, that you're just going to automatically come out and you're going to win everything and just take back everything in just one stroke? Are you serious? Are you even putting in the effort, the level of effort that will be needed in order to achieve that type of a victory? Are you? What are you doing? Honestly, take an introspective look inside yourself, internally. Are you doing enough work and putting in enough effort to honestly believe that we are going to receive some sort of a massive victory because you put all of your effort into it, you left everything on the floor, you did everything that you possibly could? So these are the questions, right? And the answer is, are you reassessing after these misses that are happening? Are you reassessing after you've put up candidates and they're not winning? Are you reassessing? No. Are you re-strategizing? No. Are you reformulating? No. I see so many people out there that are running for office or try to support different causes or whatever, and they keep doing the same thing, and expecting a different result. With no added supply lines, with no added troops, and you expect a different result. Explain to me how strategically you possibly believe that that's going to happen. Please make it make sense to me. You're going to be having to put in a higher level of effort. You're going to have to go about it in a different way. You're going to have to step up your game to the next level. You're going to have to sit down, reanalyze, reassess, and reformat so that you can take a victory next time. And maybe you don't take the victory next time. Remember, as I said, it took them 100 years to get where they are. You've only been pushing back, what? 5 years? 1 year? 6 months? 10 years maybe? Like, let's be honest and let's be real. Where we started to see a real dramatic shift in our country was after 9/11, right? So we're just what was that, 20-ish years ago, you know? So we're just really 20 years into this piece, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even, I can't remember it. I want to say it was 01, but I can't remember for sure. I know it was around then. But so we're about roughly about 20 years in, right? So you mean you haven't been able to organize people in 20 years? You mean you haven't been able to take back all of these seats in 20 years? Well, maybe you've been working the full 20 years, but the fact of the matter is most people have only been working 1 year, couple months, just got involved, you know, maybe they've been involved 10 years, you know. Maybe they've really been up on top of everything as everything's been changing, and they've been in it for 20 years, let's say. But most people haven't been in the fight that long. So how could you possibly conceive that you would be able to topple an enemy that has been at this for 100 years, chipping away at the foundations of our nation's principles, beliefs, and traditional values? How? How? Especially a group, a philosophy, a mentality that you're saying is pure evil. Pure evil. You're saying it's evil. You're telling me it's evil, right? How do you believe that you are going to triumph over evil if you are not putting in a ferocious amount of effort, more than could ever possibly be exerted, recruiting the number of people that you need that is just crazy, insane number of people, okay? Crazy, insane amount of output to get the input to get the output that's necessary. You want to just topple an empire in one election? Like, are you guys serious? And you're giving up? You're hurt because, oh, you didn't win an election? Are you serious with me right now? When did my fellow countrymen become such pansies and wimps? I love my country to death, but I mean, and back to life again. But I mean, come on now, y'all. Y'all out here giving up. Y'all out here just like, I don't even know what y'all like right now. Y'all like some words that I'm not able to say because they'll boot me off. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the real problem. So the communists have been working on this for 100 years. We've had so many different documents and edicts and what do you call those other things? It doesn't matter. Papers and stuff written, published, and even spoken on exactly how they're going to go about in taking over the U.S. You know, they said they're going to invade our educational institutions. They did that over a 100-year period. They took over all of our educational institutions. They did that. Boom, bang, bing. 100 years. Took them to do that. They've done it. Mission is practically complete now. They said they're going to invade every facet of our government. If you look at the government and the things that they're doing, a lot of it's more communist, more socialist leaning than it is actual traditional American values or actual any sense of America at all. These are very serious times that we are living in. They've taken over the monetary system. You understand what I'm saying? They've taken over all of these departments and in the government. They've taken over the unions. They've taken over all of these different groups and stuff that make up, well, the whole power structure and the educational structure and the financial structure of our whole nation. So you tell me how you believe that in one election or two elections, you're going to magically take back over everything without the number of troops, without the supply lines, without the financial backing. How? Just like that? It took them 100 years to get here. Are you serious right now? Like, you're not being realistic. So the fact that you would give up, the fact that you would be on your heels right now means that you need to nut up, son. Okay? For real. Fix up, look sharp. Okay? This is no time to be cowering. This is no time to be giving up. This is no time to be licking your wounds. Okay? This is time to restructure. This is time to reformat. This is time to re-engage. This is time to prepare for the next battle up ahead. Like, y'all just giving up? Like, who are y'all? Like, is that, you know, I want to be like, did mama raise some punks? Like, what's really going on here? Like, is this America right now? Is this the resolve of the American people right now? Y'all just give up? I thought you call yourself patriots. I thought y'all called yourselves freedom fighters. You understand? And then one of the very big issues is that many people aren't able to get out of their own way or be willing to work with other groups that have the same base principles, which is the restoration of our nation and our traditional values and direction in a more positive way, you know? Like, because very clearly we're on the rocket powered rocket ship headed straight for communism and right into totalitarianism. And of course, it's people say, oh, well, it's not the communists, it's not the socialists. It is, it really is. But they're basically being used by the elites to usher in more authoritarian control. And at the same time, they're being used to divide and misfocus the people so that they're too busy that they're not able to consolidate their troops so that they can all tackle at one point to actually put a hole in the dike, to break a hole in the wall, to actually start getting some momentum and actually start moving forward and chipping away at what is needed to be done. Like, it's not it's not a one night fight. Like, this is a continued trial. Like, you tell me that these people are evil and you just think that you're going to just automatically snap your fingers and defeat evil? Like, you're going to give up because you had a couple of lost battles? Like, you're going to give up because stuff is hard? You understand what I'm saying? Look, I live in New York State. So many people have moved out of New York State because stuff is hard instead of staying to fight, instead of staying to push back. All you're doing is delaying the inevitable. If New York falls, so does the rest of the country. So everybody moved out of New York for what? Now we've got all of these chemical spills in all of the nice, more conservative areas. We've got the poisoning of the groundwater. We've got the poisoning of the soil. We've got the poisoning of the air. And all of it does what? Make us and lead us to be more dependent on the government, right? So you think that you escaped something from New York, now you go in somewhere else, and they already got plans and designs on how they're going to take that over, be it through whatever ways or manner that they can. If it takes them a couple of extra years, it'll take them a couple of extra years. But if New York falls, so does the rest of the country. And right now, New York is still putting up an obstinate fight. And we are here to stand up, to speak up, to push back, to carry on with this fight. Do not lose hope. Do not lose sight because of some little petty school board losses. School board losses. I look at some of these races and it's like 800 votes wins, 1,500 votes wins. You know, I'm like, how many doors did you knock on? It's a 15% turnout, 1,500 people voted, and you lost the 1,500 votes? Like, are you serious? How many phone calls did you make? How many doors did you knock? How long have you been campaigning? How long have you been at this? How many touches have you made? What's your frequency rate? Like, is this what are we being serious with ourselves? That we're just to give up? You know what I'm saying? 800 votes is a winning vote in some places. Are you serious? Did you not talk to 800 people? Are you serious? Did you not drag 800 people to the poll? Get your cousins, your mother, your uncles, your neighbors, and other like-minded individuals to help get people to the poll to go vote? Are you serious with yourself? Analyze what you could have done better, because we're going to need to do better, because we're going to have to go farther, and we're going to have to reassess so that we can get farther in the next season of elections. We got elections coming up this fall. We got some people have primaries. Some people got elections coming up in June. But y'all out here licking your wounds because you got hurt over some school board elections, and now, oh, it's all defeat. Listen, I thought you told me that this was evil. If this is true evil and that's how you're just going to give up against evil, I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what to do. Do you even honestly believe that it's evil? Like, do you believe that these are bad people, really? Because you're just going to give up and let the bad, evil people take over? Are we being real with ourselves right now? Ricky, how you doing? Yeah, I would love to see New York turn red as well, Ricky. Me too. I'm working very diligently on doing everything I can to motivate people and get people out to become more active so that we can turn New York red, because we must. It is unbalanced right now. It is so unbalanced, it's out of control. And that's the issue. We've got all of these people that are in the assembly. We've got all of these people that are in the Senate. We've got state Senate. We've got all of these people that are on these school boards. It is drastically and disproportionately all Democrat, all blue. And that is a problem. Maybe not for you, but it is true, even if you don't see it. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're all one flavor, then you don't have any real diversity. Okay. They talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and stuff like that. That's not true, because when it comes to diversity of thought, when it comes to inclusion of people who think differently than others, people don't want that. Especially the people that are pushing it the most, which happen to be the Democrats. Now, I'm not slamming Democrats, right? But specifically, this is Democrats. This is their playbook. It's not every Democrat, but it's largely the Democratic playbook, which has been taken over by communists and socialists. Like, that's not even there's no debate there. There's no discussion. The Democratic Party has been taken over by communists and socialists. The elites run the whole thing, but they're using the communists and socialists. They're using their structure. They're using their momentum. They're using them as willful idiots or blind idiots or whatever you want to call them to do their bidding. And we as a people, as a community, as Americans, as dutiful citizens, must stand up and we must push back together. Don't just give up. Don't just say, oh, well, I tried my hardest. No, keep fighting. What do you think? This is a war. This is a war. They have been fighting 100-year war. Like, this isn't even a joke. They have been fighting 100-year war against us, and you might have been fighting for a couple months, maybe a year, maybe 10 years, and you expect to win against an army that has been building up over 100 years? Like, you're not being realistic. And I'm not going to say that it's going to take us 100 years to win this battle, because we very much so, if we focus, if we kneel down, if we put all the energy in the way that we need to, if we consolidate our forces, if we stop being so single-minded as individuals in specific groups, okay, if we come together in unity, in harmony, and stand together and start pushing back and start going out for certain candidates, we will see wins. We will see accomplishments. Okay? But the first thing we have to do is we got to get people motivated. We got to get them involved. We got to get them engaged. If we don't get them motivated, involved, and engaged, we're not going to win anything. Why aren't we going to win anything? Because we're not going to have the feet on the ground that we need. We're not going to have the manpower that we need. We're not going to have the people to make the phone calls. We're not going to have the people to help raise the funds. We're not going to have the people to go knock doors. We're not going to have anything. We're not going to have the communities built that we need in order to make sure that we can see this thing across and pass to victory. You understand what I'm saying? And we might win one seat here, and we might win one seat there, but every seat counts. Every single seat counts. As I said, they have been chipping away at the foundation of our nation for 100 years, and you just gonna give up. You sick. Something wrong with you. Fix yourself. Okay? We ain't got time for that. It's time to move forward. It's time to stand up. It's time to reassess. It's time to reanalyze. It's time to regroup. It's time to amass our forces. Okay? Because by this time, come November, we need to have some of these daggone seats. All of these people that's licking their wounds right now, crying, oh, we lost school board races. So now you got other candidates that are running for the general election or are running for primary. You go help them. You make sure they win. You do what you did not do in this school board election to make sure that there is a higher chance of success, because you can't guarantee success, but you can damn sure improve your odds and statistics. And that's what we need to be focusing on. If we're not doing that, we are lost. Okay? We need to make sure that we are uniting. The whole concept has always been divide and conquer, divide and conquer. There's this group, they care about this thing. There's that group, they care about that thing. But we all care about restoring our country. Why are we not working together? Oh, well, they're one topic voters, or oh, well, they're one topic people. Well, maybe they need to be two topic people. Maybe they need to be the save our fucking country people. Excuse my language. Okay, but can we be really real right now? Like, this is a fight against evil. And if you are religious, you understand, like, you will know that the darkness is real, that it is out here, and that it is pervading every single thing. You've got you've got the collapse of our dollar at hand. You've got the issue with the food stores and everything being so expensive. You've got the issues with businesses closing. We got so many fronts to fight on. But if we're going to fight on the election front, we need to fight on the election front, because the election front is where most of this stuff is able to be changed from. And if that's not where we're taking the fight, then we're not doing what's right. And I promise you, we will not accomplish what needs to be accomplished until we start focusing on these elections like it's something serious, not like it's something for play. The other side, they're out there all day. They do this like it's a religion. And if you listen to them or if you talk to them, they'll tell you like it's a religion, because you could be putting them all the facts in the world. You can be holding up something that's blue right in their face, and they'll tell you that it's freaking pink. Okay? Come on now. These are the same people out there telling you that boys are girls right now. Come on now. Okay? Can we get it together and understand that our enemy is something completely, vastly different than what we are, and that we are going to have to reapproach these things in completely different ways than we've thought, because we're thinking with our mind. We're not thinking with the mind of the enemy. Okay? We should by now at least know ourselves. More or less so, we should know our enemy. Okay? And that's very real. That's real facts, whole facts right there. This is such a critical and pivotal time in our nation for people to be laying down and curling up and saying, oh, woe is me. Oh, it's the end of the world. Oh, I'm not able to help as much as I'd like because I got to work. So put in everything that you can do. Go without some sleep. Go without some food. People died for this country. Are you serious? People froze to death. People had their foots amputated because they were marching in the damn snow for this country to get us our freedom as a nation, as an independent country. Are you real serious right now? Have you sacrificed all that you can? Have you given all that you can? Now, I'm not saying to sacrifice all that you can. I'm not saying to give all that you can. But I'm saying you ain't giving nearly as much as you could to the cause. And then you're going to tell me that, oh my God, everything's so horrible and it's the end of the world. Put more in. If it's the end of the world, you better put more in. Because if it's the end of the world, that means that it's not going to continue. So it means that you must put everything in that you possibly can, because there is no looking back. There is no going back. There is only forward. And that is the direction that we must go in. We must go forward. We must unite. We must consolidate. We must refocus. We must reanalyze. We must restore our nation. We must regain these seats in different positions in different elections. We must regroup, and we must team up, and we must find others that are like-minded individuals, whether they are the same party as us or whether they are different parties. It does not matter. The time is now to consolidate all of the allies on every side that you have, where people see that what is being done right now is not right and it is wrong. We could get into the religious aspect that the majority of this stuff is really completely unholy and is very demonic. But that's a whole separate level of conversation, a much higher level and a much more passionate level of conversation tonight. And I can't promise you that if I go into that right now, feeling the way that I'm feeling, that I'm not going to start flinging across all types of profanity. So I'm going to leave that be for right now, because y'all ain't really committed to the Lord. Y'all not really committed to this war. Y'all not really committed the way that you say that you're committed. Y'all call yourself Christians and y'all ain't. Okay? Because being a Christian is not a simple or easy thing. Being a Christian is being a warlike individual, and you must be on guard. You must stand firm. You must push back against what you know is wrong. And you must stand in your convictions. But right now we have people that don't want to speak up because they're scared they'll be canceled, because they're scared of how they'll look at their job. Oh, well, I got to provide for myself. Is that what God told you, bro? Is that what God told you, sis? God told you that it's okay to teach little kids stuff that is inappropriate to learn at such a young level, but they can't even teach them their proper ABCs. But we got people graduating from high school that can't read. But we got people graduating at high school that can't do basic math. And I'm not talking multiplication or division. I'm talking addition and subtraction. Come on now. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Like, for real. Are y'all committed to this thing? Are y'all really Christian? What are you willing to do? You understand what I'm saying? Like, the disciples were persecuted and most of them were killed. Are you serious right now? Are you committed? Jesus died for us. Like, are you really committed? Are you serious, bruh? Like, Noah suffered hundreds of years of ridicule. You understand what I'm saying? Moses, everything that Moses went through. Look, shoot, I could name literally all of the main characters from the Bible, and all the secondary characters went through a whole bunch of trials and tribulations in order to uphold the word of God and what they were supposed to do in duty and in service of the Lord. And y'all out here copping out because you're concerned of how it might look at work, of how somebody might think of you at your community center, of how somebody might, you might get kicked off of this committee or you might get kicked off of that. So you won't speak up for the Lord for what is right? You won't speak up for what is right because of how somebody might look at you? You won't speak up for what is right because you feel as though it might affect your finances? Well, what will you do when they come to you and they say, hey, you better give up your neighbor or we're going to shoot your kids dead? Excuse my language, but that's what we're coming to, because honestly, we just saw exactly that in what happened in the last year, right? They were like, oh, inform on your neighbors if they've got more than 5 people over for Thanksgiving or whatever it was, 4 or something like that. Ridiculous. And people were like, hello, police? Hello, police. My neighbor has 7 people at their house and it's COVID. Make sure you send 100 police cars to my neighbor's house because they're having Thanksgiving dinner. They're like, hello, police? Hello, police? These people are having church services and all of the churches are supposed to be closed down. Send the police, send the army, send the military. This is y'all. This is y'all right now. And y'all talk about y'all committed to Christ. Y'all talk about y'all committed to the Lord. Y'all talk about y'all committed to our country. I don't think y'all committed to any single one of those things with the way that y'all be maneuvering. For real, for real. Y'all scared? You think you're scared now? Wait till they get this central bank digital currency off the ground. The FedNow app launches next month. Where we May? June. The FedNow app launches next month. They're going to track all of your payments. They're starting to digitalize currency, so they'll make it so your money expires if they don't want you to use it in a certain amount of time. They'll make it so you're not able to purchase certain products because they say that you can't purchase those products. Are you serious? You think that there's something that you're not able to speak up against now? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do? Because it's about to get really, really serious and really, really hairy, and you're looking really, really Larry right now, okay? And it's really kind of scary. So what I'm saying to you is if you are committed to our nation, or if you are committed to the Lord, if you are committed to Jesus, if you are committed, I don't give a good golly gosh what you are committed to, but if you are committed to a better future for our nation and for the children and for the next generations, you better stand the hell up. You better speak up. You better not give up. You better redouble your efforts, triple your efforts. Put everything that you got on the line, because this is where we are going. Look at what happened in Canada, right? They were up there peacefully protesting. Nothing got broke. Nothing got torn over. Nothing got tore up. They were even cleaning up after themselves. They was being real Canadian about their protests, and they shut down their bank accounts. They killed their animals. This is a real thing. They euthanized their pets, bro. They were shutting down people that said mom's bank accounts from all the way in Alberta, in British Columbia and stuff, all the way across the country, because people gave $5 to somebody that were protesting in Ottawa. Are you serious? You scared now that they might do something that you might lose your livelihood? You about to lose everything anyway. And then even on top of that, forget all of that, because AI and machines is about to take jobs. The central budget office, which is the what do you call it? Nonpartisan office that works for the government, okay? They make all of the budgets, and let's say the Senate says, here's a bill, it's gonna cost $500. The CBO will come back, they're like, nah man, we checked your math, that ain't $500, that's $5,000, use a lie. So that's what they do, right? So the central budget office said by 2030, 60% of all jobs are going to be taken by AI, okay, across all professions. All professions, not just the service industry, not just the hospitality industry, all professions by 2030. So if you thought that something was going to happen, we're what, 7 years away from that? Come on now. If you're not standing up and pushing back against what's going on now, what's going to happen when things get more serious? What's going to happen when these food shortages really start to kick in like they starting to come already? Y'all done seen what's been happening to the farmers. Look at what's going on with Europe with the farmers where they're making them stop growing food. Look at what's happening in America with the farmers where they're making them stop growing food. But in the Netherlands and in other parts of Europe and France and stuff like that, they really shutting the farms down and stuff like that. It's really, really bad, you guys. And they saying that it's in the name of the environment. There are a whole bunch of lies. But that's not what this video is about. But the fact of the matter is that if we do not stand up now, there will be no tomorrow. So y'all talking about, oh, we lost a couple of elections. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. No. Suck it up, Buttercup. Stand up straight. Fix yourself. Wipe your snot. Wipe your eyes, okay? Go take a shower. Fix your damn hair and get back to it. Okay? Because we got to get through it. Because if we do not go keep in fighting and keep pushing, we're not going to win anything. We're going to be subjugated anyway. They're coming. They're coming regardless. So if you do not stand up now, if you do not take a stand now, you definitely won't take a stand later. We saw what happened under COVID. Okay? We saw people being pushed out of their jobs that were in jobs for decades. Did the unions stand up and speak up for them? No. Did their friends stand up and speak up for them? No. Many of them were in the medical profession. Many of them were doctors and nurses. You know, the people who know about medicine and the medical stuff and things like that. And they decided that they weren't down with it and they lost their job because of their stance. Come on now. What happened to that winter of death and destruction that the president said was going to happen for the people who didn't get those pokes, right? Are we being serious right now? That never even happened, right? But that was a threat, right? So y'all just gave in on that? You think that the future that's coming right now, that's hastening so fast, is going to be any different? You think it's going to be better? You see that they're tightening the noose around our necks. And you mean to tell me that you honestly believe that you have the ability to just give up? You're just going to give up just like that because you lost an election, because you felt like you should have won or more people should have stood up? Maybe you should have made more phone calls. Maybe you should have knocked more doors. Maybe you should have reached out to more people. Maybe you should have sent more emails. What could you do different? What could you do better? How can you improve what you did this time next time? Did you sit on your bum? Did you even go out and vote? So these are the things that need to be addressed. And we need to sit back and we need to reassess. It's very important, but I digress. Now, before I jump in and get into the rest, I know that a lot of you guys out there feel hurt. Okay? You do. You feel as though everything is collapsing because, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It definitely is. Everything is collapsing. But you need to be like Atlas and put that bad boy on your back, okay, and hold it up, okay? That's what you need to do. You know, they say, oh, don't put the world on your shoulders. Well, I was going to say profanity. Well, sugar cookies to that, right? If you got to hold up the world and put the world on your shoulders, hold up the world and put the world on your shoulders because somebody's got to do it. If it's not being done, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be you. You might as well stand up. The more that you stand up, the more that you speak up, the more people will hear your voice, the more people that will join your cause. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is that we don't have much time left for anything. That's why we must stand up now. That's why we must push for every election. That's why we must fight for all the positions in which we have candidates running. That's why we must help our candidates. That's why we got to go knock doors. That's why we got to make phone calls. That's why we got to do donations. That's why we got to encourage more people to get out to vote. That's why we got to drive our friends to go vote. That's why we got to pick up 5 of our neighbors, take them to go vote. This is what has to be done. We have to reassess what we did because it's not working very, very clearly. We have to reassess the way in which we're approaching these things. We have to reassess the way in which we're executing on these things. And we have to make sure that we're re-implementing the things that did work, and we're renewing the things that didn't into something different. Revitalizing them, changing them, restructuring them, however it needs to be done. That's what needs to be done. But I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to leave you with this note. Do not give up. Do not give up. Because if you give up here, there won't be any fight to fight in the future, because nobody will be willing to stand up. It's better to fight now than it is to fight later, because there will be less people willing to fight then. And by then, it will be terrible. I promise you that, if we do not all stand up now and unite together. So my message to you tonight: regroup, refocus, reassess, figure out different plans, different tactics, and make sure that you're reuniting with other groups, other people that's goals are also to restore our nation. Because at this point, everything is on the verge of collapse. And if you do nothing, or if you give up, or if you run away to another state, nothing is going to change. It's still going to happen anyway. And you're only trying to delay the inevitable. If you are scared at your job that somebody's going to, they're going to get rid of you because you speak up and you say something, well, guess what? Then you're either going to be silent for the rest of your life, or you're going to stand up for what is right. But we have to stand up, because people haven't been standing up, and that's why we are where we are now. That's why we're back on our heels. 100 years, the communists and the socialists have been working to invade every single facet of our nation, and now they've got pretty much everything. And you're like, oh my God, we lost an election. Oh, woe is me. It's the end of the world. It's not. It took them 100 years. Let's knuckle up. Let's buckle down. And let's unite as many people as possible. And let's make it so it only takes us a couple of years to restore our nation. But for real, if it takes us decades to get back our country, we must stay in this fight. We can't give up, because they didn't. They did it slowly, bit by bit. They ate our whole country. It's time to stand. So I encourage you guys, if you want to take more action, if you want to get more involved, reach out to me. Okay, message me. Find my phone number on my website. You can reach out to me, send me a text or whatever, 585-678 1011. That's 585-678-1011. If you want to find out how you can be more involved, if you want to take more action, and you're in the Rochester area, definitely reach out to me and we'll connect. But we have to be working harder, putting in more effort now more than ever. I'll catch you guys later. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well.